And as we heard there, the Welsh Government's latest attempt to get to grips with child poverty was launched this week. But the Children's Commissioner says the proposals need a lot more detail to be useful. The Welsh Government scrapped their target of getting rid of child poverty by 2020 back in 2016. But today, a third of children in Wales are still living in poverty. Cherrie Bija has been to Swansea to see how the work of one charity is trying to make a difference.
After a long winter and a hot, dry summer, the rain in Swansea is a welcome relief. But there's no relief from the hardship felt by so many in Wales. As the cost of living continues to rise, it's those that are already living in poverty that are the worst affected. In Wales, around 30% of children are living in poverty. That's around 190,000 of them without enough money for the basics.
We provide lots of activities here during the school holidays.
For 25 years, the Faith in Families charity has provided breakfast clubs, holiday clubs, after-school activities, affordable childcare and so much more to families in need.
Qualified and skilled practitioners to talk about their well-being and give them tools to be a little bit more resilient, so when they get angry and fed up and when they have all of these big emotions, that they have some sort of tools inside them to deal with them, to help with their well-being.
Is this as much a mental health crisis as a poverty crisis?
How can it not be?
According to the charity's chief executive, the level of hardship is unlike anything she's seen before. She says one boy they helped with a small grant had grown out of his only pair of shoes, and the cupboards at home were bare.
So we bought some essentials for the cupboard, and the little boy was jumping excited. He had new shoes, and we bought some milk and fruit, etc. And when the play worker asked the little boy why he was excited, thinking it was going to be the shoes, it was because he was going to have milk on his cornflakes the next day for breakfast, because he'd been having water for breakfast with his cornflakes before going to school.
Is that kind of story widespread?
Yes. Yes, we're seeing it everywhere. People just haven't got enough money to live on these days. They're not being paid enough, they haven't got enough benefits coming in, and it just needs to change.
Getting to grips with child poverty is more than just a humanitarian concern, according to Cherrie.
All of those thousands of children every day, right now, going to school or going out into our communities hungry and cold and tired and anxious. What do you think their adulthoods are going to look like? We are just storing up a massive problem, a massive health problem, a massive well-being issue, an anger problem, and we've got to be more courageous. We've got to do something about it now.
The Welsh Government has this week launched a consultation on its child poverty strategy, essentially a document highlighting how they're tackling this stubborn issue. So what are the Welsh Government doing? A leading Welsh poverty charity says that while some of the work they're doing is working, the plan they've published is vague.
I think the public would probably be puzzled as to what is the point of this document. It mostly sets out what the Welsh Government is doing. And some of what the Welsh Government is doing is really laudable. We should not undervalue things like free school meals and raising the educational maintenance allowance. Those are really important steps, but they're doing them already.
The Children's Commissioner for Wales says the strategy needs a lot more work to be meaningful.
I think it really needs more detail, more targets, more actions, more deliverables, more timescales. It just seems too broad, really, to be a useful tool to aid measuring and monitoring how well we are doing towards tackling the really huge problem of child poverty.
Beyond targets, the Commissioner wants to see the Welsh Government pilot a free public transport scheme for children to accelerate the rollout and improve the quality of free school meals, and lobby Westminster for more powers to bring in a Welsh child payment similar to what's been implemented in Scotland.
Any of those actions would make a huge difference, but we don't have time. These are children who are suffering right here today. It's 2023. Wales is one of the richest countries in the world. We should and could be doing better.
There are things that can be done. They're not necessarily picked up in measures of poverty, but they make a huge difference to children's lives, and that's what we're talking about. This isn't about figures, it's about children.
A Welsh Government spokesperson said they're committed to addressing child poverty. However, the major levers for tackling poverty, welfare benefits and many fiscal powers are in the hands of the UK Government. Significantly reducing child poverty in Wales will require the UK Government to show an equal level of commitment. And the UK Government said in response they're providing record financial support worth around £3,300 per household. They've raised benefits by 10.1%, made an unprecedented increase to the national living wage and are giving an extra £50 million to help people in Wales with essential costs. In the meantime, there are people making a difference to the experience of children living in poverty, like here at Faith in Families. They're trying to offer some hope in a situation they fear is increasingly hopeless.